Welcome to Reread, and this time we are going through the Force Unleashed 2. Yeah, they gave it a number, which I love. I mean, they're basing it off the game Force Unleashed 2, but the novel's named Force Unleashed 2. You don't want to get that anywhere else. I do like that. I'm not kidding. I love it. This is, chronologically speaking, Captain Akbar, before his admiral, his first appearance. And they hint to why they're trying to get the Mon Calamari on board, and eventually, even though they don't say it, making him an admiral, making Akbar an admiral will be, would behoove the rebellion to get the Mon Calamaris on board. But they bring him in to help out with something. They mention his background with Tarkin, that he was one of Tarkin's slaves, got freed by the rebellion. I think that was from West End Games that came out. I could be wrong, but I think that's where they got that from. So there is some nice EU tie-ins there. Leia's a bigger part of this, not huge, but a bigger part. She's here and there. She and Juno have this like girl relationship, which is I'm not upset about, but it's almost like Juno's thinking, wow, Leia reminds me of a younger me. She must not have many friends. We're very friendly, chummy together. I get it. The rebellion's still young. There's not that many people involved, so everyone is chummy with everyone else. But it seems like Princess Leia really likes Juno Eclipse, and they're the best of friends. Well, then how come we don't hear about them? If they were so impactful in Leia's life, like she's, kind of confiding in Juno, because Juno says, hey, do you have a boyfriend? Like, that's what you asked during a rebellion? And she goes, well, no one my father would approve of. Just a little girl talk, which I get it that she has a friend, but again, Leia doesn't mention her anytime else. So it's just kind of problematic in a way, for me at least. Starkiller Ghost, by the way, Starkiller, he died. He's a clone. There's a big question on whether Vader was lying to him. Is he the real Starkiller? Kota, who's General Kota, who trained, by the way, I forgot to mention the Starkiller didn't kill him. Kota turns out to train him, and Kota's blind. But he feels that Starkiller is the same person and not a clone. And so there's this big question, is he a clone or not? And of course, later on, I think it came out that, yeah, he was a clone. Not in the books, but they kind of leave that question open for you in this book here. Now, the Starkiller clone, he gets instructions by Darth Vader. He doesn't believe Darth Vader at all. Darth Vader sends him on another mission. He got betrayed by Darth Vader because for rounding up the rebellion, I forgot to mention this too last time, for rounding up the rebellion, it was all a setup. Darth Vader and the Emperor just wanted him to round up all their enemies so they could smash them all together. And now Bail Organa is on the run because he's been outed as a member of the rebellion. Princess Leia is related to him, but because she's beloved by the Senate and she didn't technically do anything wrong, so the Emperor can't make a move against her right now until they have proof that she's part of the rebellion too. But anyway, Starkiller, he's supposedly one of many clones, is what Darth Vader says him. He's been around for 13 days. It's probably been a year or so, I think, since the first book now, because the rebellion's moving on, but Mon Mothma and Bela Biss are arguing, tying into Timothy Zahn's book there. And there's a lot of other things going on, but Juno is on the outs for trying to save Kota during a mission, and she thinks Kota's dead, but he's not. But she didn't go back to rescue him because she thought the old fool, he got himself killed finally. And for some reason, well, they're unhappy because she disobeyed orders to help Kota, who's kind of a rogue when it comes to these rebel missions. And but then she gets brought back in, and it's like there's no point to that. I guess it was just something for Juno to do. Starkiller is the one who has to go back, and first off, he saves Kota, which hooks him up with the rebellion. He goes to Dagobah, and meets Yoda. They don't say it's Yoda. He doesn't know. He's just some little green creature. He goes into the cave, has a vision of Juno dying, and he has to save Juno. So Kota knows where the Rebel Alliance is. He uses Kota to get to Juno, all in an effort to save Juno before she dies in this battle that he has foreseen. Now, there is a lot of stuff here, but Boba Fett, even though they don't mention Boba Fett's name either for some reason, Boba Fett captures Juno. He was contracted by Darth Vader to capture Juno. She's like, what did I do? Who sent out the bounty from me? You don't know it's Darth Vader at first. And she's trying to think of who would, the Baron. She just took out some Imperial Baron, and she's trying to think of who would be out against her. And Boba Fett goes, you don't understand, it's not about you. She's hoping that Boba Fett will slip up. He's not going to slip up and tell her what it's about, but then eventually she finds out that she's bait for Starkiller, because she realizes later on, because Starkiller just misses saving her at one point from Boba Fett, and she sees that Starkiller's alive. How can that be? And when Boba Fett gets her to the Darth Vader, he asks for his payment up front. He's not going to go toe-to-toe with Starkiller. Starkiller's crazy. Vader goes, no, you'll stay here. You'll get paid. He said, but first let me deal with Starkiller. So Starkiller knows it's a trap he's running into. He gets Coda, who grabs the Alliance, who they go to where the trap's set, and the Alliance and the Empire slug it out in a space battle. Wedge Antilles, his first chronological appearance, is flying a Y-wing, which is really weird, but that's what they had back then. And he gives Starkiller a lift to where he needs to go on the planet to confront Darth Vader. And it's just a little bit of an intro with Wedge Antilles. Not really needed, but, you know, hey, all of the heroes of the early rebellion are there. Now, when he faces Darth Vader, it looks like he kills Juno. In fact, that's what Starkiller thinks. And then there's an entire chapter dedicated to flashbacks, just rewrites from everything from book 1, scenes with him and Juno. It's just, and it's like, after this happened. And then there's a sense like, this was after this happened. And then this took place after this and this. And it's just excerpts from the first book. And some from the second book at the end. You're like, why are we reading? And it's like a whole chapter dedicated to previously on Force Unleashed. I never knew that was stupid. It was just a waste. Because I guess if you didn't read Force Unleashed 1, I get it. You wanted to see how much time, the good times they had together. But then the good times they had together, or whatever, the romantic moments or the intimate moments, weren't really that good. It's almost like Sean Williams was like, here, look how wonderful their life was together. And like, no, it really wasn't. They really didn't have much of a life together. In fact, the clone doesn't even realize why it's so important to save Juno. He just knows he loves her. We still don't know why. But then, of course, in like a 2-page chapter after the flashback of all the greatest hits of Force Unleashed 1, she comes back to life. She's not dead. She's okay. Okay, what was the point of the last chapter then? I just thought that was really weird. There's a lot of great battles here. Again, a lot of great action, a lot of great fight scenes. The Starkiller fights a Gorog, a big beast. He zaps it with force lightning a lot and hits it in the heart and, kind of destroys its heart and it collapses. And other great big battles here too, that he's slicing up stormtroopers and attacking. But he and Vader have this long, drawn-out battle. Of course, everyone kind of knows this from my first review, but Vader he's going to capture, but that's because Juno snuck up behind Vader, which I don't really know if I like. They say, well, there's a lot of distractions, and he was really focused on Starkiller, which is why Juno got one slice in on him, and one lightsaber slice against his breath controller box in the front, which is something that Vader has to guard because he knows it's a weak spot for him. And then, of course, Starkiller releases force lightning into the box and kind of knocks out Vader. Now, why not kill him? Well, they give a reason because they want to capture him, use him as a bargaining chip against the Emperor, and find the Empire secrets, which I totally get. All that stuff is legit. Other than that, there's the book's fine. Again, it's a fine book. Not as good as I remember. Not as good as Proxy is not the same. He's missing his core programming, which he seems the same. I don't know. They keep saying he's different, but I don't get what's different about him. And then he finds a bunch of, when they defeat Vader, he finds a bunch of ex-proxies, because the proxies, there's a proxy robot that Darth Vader has that Starkiller must fight. It's basically video game stuff. Because then there are other Starkiller clones who come out. They're rejects. They're not really perfect clones, and Starkiller has to fight them. Like I said, just one level to the next as he's fighting Darth Vader. I get it. Again, I can't fault Sean Williams for writing something based off based off the video game, because you want to make it, take the video game storyline and put it into the best story you can. So again, I don't fault him for that, but it feels like a video game. And that's funny because, like I said, the first time I read it, I didn't really think it felt that much like a video game like I do now. Again, not a bad thing. It's just that's just one thing I noticed there. Overall, the story's fine. It's fine. Again, same complaints the first time. Starkiller's never mentioned outside the EU, I don't think. And if you started the rebellion, you'd think he would have mentioned him. But it is what it is, right? And at least they have a book. Again, I was very happy. Hate that it ends on a cliffhanger. Really hated that. I know they're going to do a Force Unleashed 3 to kind of wrap it all up, and I would have been interested to see how it ended. But, oh well. It is what it is, right? All right, folks. That's all for now. See you next time.